So, as part of the manifesto, Connor said he would only do it if
Isaiah's driving to West Lafayette, Indiana right now.
Yeah, which is, because they're playing, Purdue's playing Ohio State, so we need to get eyes on Ohio State. So, listen, he's not in college football anymore. It isn't illegal for him to send me anywhere anymore. But anyway, as I'm en route to see going on a Thursday, Connor, that's me. I don't know why you have me sending me so early, but while I'm en route, we're going to dig into.
He's going to be there on Friday when they land.
I think I'm going to wear a fake mustache so they don't recognize me. We're going to dig deep into the manifesto right here on this episode of Locked On Wolverines.
You are Locked On Wolverines, your daily podcast on the Michigan Wolverines, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Thursday. We are back and doing it. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I'm your man driving around, Isaiah Hole, publisher of Wolverines Wire through USA Today Sports Media Group. That's Connor Stalions over to my other side there.
Are those Michigan potholes?
No, I'm on the brand new paved I-75. So reasons why I'm driving for real is had an errand that had to be run first thing in the morning. Connor could only do the show at this time today. So we are improvising, we are adapting, we are overcoming. So thank you to all of our everydayers. Thank you for everyone who makes us your first listen. We do appreciate that. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to get into the offense against Purdue. Connor is going to discuss whether or not he thinks that Michigan should just cancel itself or not right now, based off of the last two games, and that's just going to be the bulk of the whole thing. So, all right, Connor, let's get into you released a video last night about the Michigan-Purdue game, and you mostly went into the offense, and as expected, things were not great, but as I've been kind of saying all week, it isn't like a full-on debacle. So tell me why it is that you feel like that's the case.
I think, people see the end result of a lot of the problems, right? Some of the misses, some of the drops. And I think most of the problems in the passing game, the root cause is the pass protection. And I'm not talking about the execution, like, the O-line can't hold up. There's definitely some sort of miscommunication, unclarity that just needs to be cleaned up. And, it's not the same thing over and over again. Sometimes the running back appears that, he's chipping the wrong guy. Sometimes it's potentially Bryce not knowing where the running back's going. And then sometimes, the O-line's not picking up a stunt or whatever the case is. And I think what's happening is there's inconsistencies, probably the right word to use, with the pass protection. And then that is what appears to be causing Bryce to have a much shorter internal clock in his mind in the pocket. And then that is causing some, I guess you can call it happy feet. And then that is causing some of the misses in the Purdue game it did. And then, I think it's like one of those things where obviously for any given play to go right, you have to string together multiple things well. You have to have good pass protection by the offensive line. You have to have good pass protection by the running back. The quarterback might need to help the running back in pass protection, and then the quarterback needs to deliver the ball, and then the receiver, tight end, needs to catch the ball. And it was one of those days where one of those things would go wrong on many plays, and it wasn't always the same thing. Obviously not saying things are great considering there's, three games left in the regular season, but, cleaning up the pass protection solves a lot of those problems. And then from there, it's just cleaning up a couple drops and whatever the case is.
One of the plays you highlighted was with Jasper Parker in, and they were showing, they were sending 6, kind of giving an engage 8 look, as you would put it. Obviously, they weren't going to send 8, because as you put it, this isn't Madden. I'm just going to steal all your jokes in your video, by the way. That's what I'm just going to do here on the show. Don't even.
Yeah, they only sent 5. The 6 were on the line of scrimmage, and obviously hindsight's 2020, so anyone can go back and watch the play and be like, well, why didn't they just slide to the field? Well, the nearest threat was out of the outside backers. The nearest threat is to the boundary. So the offensive line, the right guard and right tackle went to go pick up the defensive end to the boundary and the outside backer to the boundary. The outside backer did not rush. He dropped. So the right tackle ended up taking the defensive end that was lined up in front of him. The right guard ended up with nobody, so he helped on the center, or he helped with the center on the nose. And then the outside backer to the field did rush. So that was the 5th man. There was only 5 that rushed. And essentially, nobody picked up the 5th man rushing. The left tackle picked up the defensive tackle in front of him. The left guard ended up picking up the defense lineman in front of him. And then the center and the guard essentially double teamed a lineman, and then the tackle and running back double teamed a lineman. So you have the running back that was helping the right tackle when he didn't need to and leaving the field outside backer open to rush. Thank God the 25-yard line blocked him and he tripped over the 25-yard line. I mean, that it would have clearly been a strip sack. Just, and I'm not like making excuses for Bryce. I'm just saying, you watch the film and you see what's going on in his mind. You can see him in the middle of his drop peek and see, oh no, there's a free runner. And then you can see him immediately, like his feet take him to the boundary, and he just tries to get rid of the ball, anticipating that he's going to get lit up from behind. And I don't even know if he really made eye contact with who was it, Marlon running the wheel. I think it was more of a, oh shoot, I gotta get rid of the ball.
Yeah. First off, when you said you're not making excuses for Bryce, you just watched the film. I prefer to not watch the film and just go with the narrative. That's the better way to go. That's the more accurate way to go. Secondly, we had some complaints last week about me being very sarcastic. Have you watched the show, person? This is who you're getting. And same with this other one. I'm pointing to my phone. You can't. That's not who he. Right? Like I should be going whichever way he is on the screen. That's who we are. Right? You're gonna get us. Okay.
Well, did you notice when you released your the vlog or whatever, and I said, oh, thank goodness you took out the part of us deciphering signals together. Someone thought we were in an argument. I'm shocked we're even doing the podcast. People, if anyone, for the 10 people that are going to tune into this, those 10 people are very lucky that we're even doing this, because you and I are in the biggest feud ever over your vlog.
We're extreme. I don't know why we're feuding, but we are. It's very clear. And I thought with that comment, it was also very clear that we are angry at each other, and it makes all the sense in the world.
I mean, the real reason that you're driving away is because there's now a restraining order on you, and you have to leave a certain radius of my location.
Which is ironic, because I've literally never done a podcast with you in closer proximity to you than I am at this very moment.
Isaiah's actually driving to my place right now to do the podcast, but we decided to do the podcast on the way to doing the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to continue on. I've got more questions as it pertains to the pass protection and things of that nature. We're going to get to that here in just a moment.
But before we do, when the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Need parts fast for a project? Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. The Part Finder tools and 3D schematics can save you hours on jobs where every detail matters. Their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support make the whole process smoother. So join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service.
All right, Connor. Really jarring. Coming back from studio, all of a sudden back to the car. I jump home. I jump back into the car to do the podcast. It's all very weird. Okay. I asked Greg Crippen this week if he's the one who handles all the protection calls, and he does. You say Bryce is really uncomfortable with essentially the calls. What's the solution? How do you get it where he's comfortable given the current status quo?
I mean, it's hard to answer that question when you're not there and you're not, in the meetings and understanding exactly what's going on. My understanding because I was on the defensive side, but knowing JJ and how things operated when he was there, I know it was the same thing. Center made the point, and then JJ would have the ability to override it, in which he got involved on, obvious passing downs a lot. Apparently it's just me and Isaiah's dropped off. So the solution is to get Bryce and the offensive line, particularly Cripp, in the room together. Not that they're not doing that, and then just sort out exactly when, get Bryce more confident in I guess empowering him more into setting the pass protection. If Isaiah's not coming back, let's see.
I'm here. Can you hear me? I am totally here.
You back?
I've been here. Can you hear me?
Now I can. You were off. Probably have to redo that.
No, I could hear. I mean, can you even see me?
Now I can.
Okay, because it's not even showing. It's not even showing me right now, so I don't know if it's recording me or not.
I mean, it says recording.
Yeah, well, it's not even showing my screen, so I don't even know what's going on.
I can see your screen.
Okay, good. Well, I heard parts of that because the app was very kind to refresh, and I had to go through everything not while driving. Wasn't driving at all while that happened. Was just it all happened safely in a normal way. All right, so they got to get in a room together. They got to.
I mean, obviously they meet together, but just the more on the same page the two of them are. I actually think a lot of it is. I mean, this is a full offensive thing, minus the receivers, but a lot of it's on the running back too. Now, is the running back, is it his responsibility to understand exactly what the offensive line is doing and take it from there? Is it Bryce's responsibility to tell the running back? It just comes down to, like, me personally, I don't know, the rules right now. I don't know their rules for who is in charge of communicating with whom, outside of, Cripp sets the point. You can see that on film, and I know that's how it's been. And then Bryce can override it. Now, how empowered is Bryce to do so? How involved is he during the week in, meetings and whatnot, of understanding, when they want him to override it, in what situations, and what looks, what fronts? Because here's the deal. Michigan's run game is so effective, the center calls out the mic in the run game. Well, you can't have the center call out the point in the run game and then the quarterback do it in the pass game. I mean, that's more, that'd be worse than signaling in broad daylight, and no comment on Ohio State, but it would be way dumber to do that than all the malpractice of signaling that Ohio State's done. So obviously you have to have the quarterback do both or the center do both. You can't have one do one and the other do the other. So the center, doing the point in the run game has to translate to the pass game. And then, you have to understand, it's not Crippen's fault. First of all, I don't think the slide is even being done wrong many times. Occasionally, like the one against Michigan State that ended up getting called back for the blatant offsides. I mean, he was like 10 yards offsides. But the center can't, he's not reading the safety rotation. He's not seeing the nickel. He's so focused in the box. So that's when Bryce needs to override him on third down. But it's just something they need to work out. I think, it's not the end of the world. It's if anything, I think I said this on that video, it's truly a blessing in disguise that something that has been going on all year but hasn't necessarily been exposed has been relatively exposed the last 2 weeks going into a bye week. So now, there's no choice.
Kind of what happened this is why I bring up 2021 a lot and why I've been bringing it up, because I love using the Office Space line. Well, we fixed the glitch, right? And that's what happened in 2021. MSU ran all kinds of tempo all over Michigan, and suddenly,
by the time you got to Ohio State, it was. I mean, we invited them to run tempo.
Yes, exactly. So kind of the same thing. Last one, this segment. What's your concern level for Bryce, given that it hasn't gone well, essentially the last game in 3 quarters? Like, what, how convinced are you that these things are going to be fixed enough and he's going to rebound?
Yeah, I'm not concerned at all. I mean, if I were to bet money on one athlete I've ever worked with, including, guys in Michigan, maybe with the exception of like a Mikey Sainer still. Bryce is a dog. I mean, I'm not even thinking about that. That's not a concern.
All right. Well, let's continue on. I want to talk about some of the things that did go well, which you also highlighted in your video. So let's get to those things here in just a moment. But before we do, NBA season is back. It is exciting. It's amazing if you're into the NBA, or you can do the college basketball thing, one or the other. You can't do both. You can only do one or the other. But the best way to get in on the action is with FanDuel. Right now, FanDuel has a deal going where you get $300 in bonus bet if your first $5 bet wins. Litany of ways that you can take advantage, whether it's same game parlays, jumping in live, doing all of those types of things, player props, game lines, all of that is at your fingertips. So what are you waiting for? Head over to FanDuel.com right now, download that app, Bet $5. If that bet wins, be smart because you can get $300 in bonus bets. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. All right, Connor, let's finish out here with discussing what did go well. Because it's not that this offense was Iowa any year currently right now.
Yeah, no, Iowa's offense is going to give Oregon a run for the money.
It's typical Iowa. Let's call it that way. Particularly the blocking, it seems to me like the run block gotten significantly better over the course of the year. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, way better. And I mean, obviously no one's going to know about Justice Haynes' status until probably the Saturday of the Ohio State game on game day. But Jordan Marshall as a back is the style of back where I think we may have talked about this before. Against a team like Ohio State, obviously you want to have both. I'm not saying you don't, but Jordan is, he's a bruiser. He's patient. He falls for it on every single play. He's a pain for a defense his motor just keeps going all game, and he makes plays on his own. And then, on top of that, the offensive line has gotten better throughout the weeks, and the scheme is really good. It's one of those things where, they average 7 yards a carry, and critical fans or fans of a certain team in Columbus can say, if you take away these couple plays, then they're only averaging these many yards per play. Well, that's kind of how football works. It's kind of how the run game works. You say over the course of 10 different runs, you are motioning your falling the tight end back, whether it's counter, split zone, wham. You're setting up plays, and you are essentially giving the defense a test, specifically in the run fit. And the more difficult the test, the more likely it is that one or two of those questions, so to say, are answered incorrectly by the defense. In which case, when you answer a question incorrectly in the run fit, that's a wide open gap, and that's usually a touchdown or a very explosive play. And so what Michigan's done in the run game is they have evolved the run game throughout the weeks, and nothing crazy, but they're setting up one thing for the next. And so, you've seen it on the videos I've done before, where they'll run split zone over and over and over again. Then they'll run wham, where the tight end slices back, and instead of getting the end, he's getting the tackle. And then, obviously, you can't talk about the boot game without talking about the run game. The run game is perfectly married with the boot game. And they only went to it, I think, 3 or 4 times in the Purdue game, and all 3 or 4 were very successful. So, that's there. I think the passing game starts with the boot game. What many people say, like on a call sheet, the get back on track plays. Say Bryce is struggling. Say it's Ohio State, and all bets are off. You're not saving anything for anything else. It's this game. It's all or nothing. And say Bryce is struggling. The boot game will get him back on track. Those easy completions. And so, that's huge. The run game and the boot game married up. I think Bryce is very effective in quick game, in drop back, particularly. He can throw the ball from the left hash all the way to a comeback route on the right sideline. He's when he knows when he's confident in the pass protection and his footwork is right. So again, I think just fixing that will fix a lot of problems. I mean, he's really, really good. So, I think it's just a matter of, especially for a game like Ohio State, getting those, I don't want to say easy completions, but I mean, that's what it is. Getting him in a rhythm and, keeping his internal clock in the pocket as long as possible. Once you do those things, then, I mean, shoot, we got to remember 2 weeks ago in the Washington game, which is probably the third best team Michigan's played this year. You could argue second, depending on how the season shakes out, up until Ohio State. Then, I mean, the passing game was tremendous. It was a healthy mix of boot, healthy mix of some dropbacks and play action. And, I don't think the play calling was much of a problem in the Purdue game. I think there's a few things that can be critiqued, and particularly with like the timing of the route concepts with the drop, and obviously the pass protection needs to get sorted out. But, 2 weeks ago, people were complaining that Michigan didn't pass the ball enough. And now people are complaining they didn't run the ball enough. So it's never I don't want to say never. It's rarely the play calling that, at the end of the day, guys got to execute. Now, that doesn't mean the coaches are off the hook, right? They got to prepare. They got to coach them up, right? Like, it's not like the pass protection and the, any pass protection problems are just Crippen's fault or Bryce's fault. Like, no, it's on the coaches to get it sorted out. But again, bye week couldn't come at a better time, especially with what the problems are. It's not like the problems are, the offensive line can't block, or, we don't have a serviceable quarterback, or, no, the running back he has no vision, or even the drops have gotten better throughout the year. Not saying it's not a problem at all, but it just needs to be synchronized and get all things clicking at the same time. And obviously, I think anyone would agree. Right now, it might be a little frustrating for some fans. They want to see it all click at the same time right now. Well, if you were to pick 1 week where it all clicks, I think we all know what week that would be. So
that would have been last week against Purdue.
Yeah. So, I guess it is time to panic, because it's more important to beat Purdue by 50 than it is to do anything else.
Exactly. Couple things as we finish out here that I think are, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're talking about like the run game kind of escalating, and also the boot game married together. Is this just me, or like you said, I noted this on the show earlier in the week, they didn't run nearly as much boot game this week as they have in previous, and it
Correct.
Feels like they're moving into different schemes, like you're mentioning split zone. They ran some duo plays, which I don't recall seeing much of earlier in the year. Outside zone was like the big thing that everyone was talking about earlier in the season.
Yeah, but everyone was talking about it, but they've run outside zone multiple. Michigan's run game has always been pretty much every run in the book, they run it. Obviously some more than others, but
my point is, it's not that they have like one bread and butter thing. If people were to,
but they never have, and that's what's made the run game so good over the years.
But is it just they escalating a little more, and just by adding things and getting better at different things? So it is that, because I feel like earlier in the year, like you mentioned, Jordan Marshall, he's gonna, eventually he's gonna break some and all of those things. Is the same thing with Justice Haynes. We weren't talking earlier in the year about like Justice Haynes or Jordan Marshall at, getting 5 yards to carry kind of on average and then breaking one. We were more so looking at it as, particularly with Haynes, it was like, okay, he's breaking one kind of despite everything not being blocked well. Now you have a situation where they're running a whole bunch of different stuff. They're blocking everything better. They're getting better at, like, incrementally at different runs. And through that, at the same time, you've got a guy in Jordan who's generally able to get 4 or 5 give and carry, and then he still breaks one. Is it just me, or does it feel it's all moving up in a very significant way over the last few weeks?
It's all moving up. I think it's a little less to do with, like, the variety of run. I mean, they've always been running different concepts. I think as the season goes on, a successful run game has, I think, a lot more to do with what I would call reverse engineering the defense's run fit rules. How do they play? What do they do against motion? How does it affect their run fits? What do they do when the tight end falls back? Do they spin? Do the safeties spin on the tight end? Do the linebackers shove on the tight end? Do they shove on motion? Do they spin on motion? Do they travel with it? And I think it's more to do with, as the season goes on, when you have more film to watch of the opponent and you can essentially reverse engineer, okay, this team, here's how they close their front, here's how they treat the run fits, here's how you know who's in the fit, here's how you can get them in worse positions. Like there's that one play, just a simple, like what I would call yo-yo motion, got the Sam off the line of scrimmage, the Mike to shove towards the boundary. And I mean, that's a huge difference. You're not, I mean, I know it was only like a 7-yard game, but it had the potential to be a touchdown. But that's a 2-yard game potentially if that motion doesn't happen. So, I don't even want to say like a casual fan. Even people that likely know what they're talking about, when they watch that, they probably aren't really thinking about how that simple motion was more than likely, I'd give it a 95% chance without being in the building. I guarantee you that was intentional to get the Mike to shove and the Sam to walk off the line of scrimmage. Little things like that are game planned over watching, hours and hours of film to see, okay, how is Purdue, in this example, how is Purdue going to line up to this formation? Who's responsible for what gap? Okay, what if we motion? And then you got to go through all the clips of them facing motion throughout the year and seeing, okay, how do they treat motion? What do they do? What if it's this guy motioning? What if it's out of this personnel in this formation? And so you see, okay, well, if we think we can get the Mike to shove inside, that'll help the angle from the tackle working up off the double team. So that's just one play. Imagine that times 30 or however many times Michigan runs the ball a game, and each of those plays has a very specific reason for the motion. You don't just motion to motion. You don't just run a certain run concept out of a certain formation just to do it for shits and giggles. Like you're doing it to put the defense in a dilemma, a conflict with their run fits, whatever the case is. So, that's another thing too. When you watch, say, the Michigan-Purdue game and you watch the run game, you watch the pass game, each game is its own, we said this last week, each game is its own story, which also means each game requires its own game planning. What you see against Purdue is not what you're going to see against Ohio State, because Ohio State's run fit rules are not the same as Purdue, and they don't even have the same fronts. It's a totally different defense. So it's all about reverse engineering the opponent's rules and pulling from your menu what will put that defense in conflict.
All right, well, I'm about to get to a dead area, and because you've come with me all the way from Troy, Somerset Collection, shout out to Nate Forbes, back to Fenton, Holly now, but last Canada Mike sent us a text message. I didn't see it because I'm driving and not focused on the screen. And since we didn't mention him, I do need to at least note that whatever he said in his text message, this is kind of letting him know.
All right, I can read it.
We don't understand maple syrup, so it's kind of hard to see what language you're speaking in.
Okay, well, here's the Canadian question of the day. What is more dangerous to the average person, the American bald eagle or the Canadian goose?
I mean, it's like talking about me trying to come between apples and some fruits, sort of.
I mean,
yeah, okay.
Geese do crap a lot. So they smell worse. I feel like there are more of them all over the place.
They're just annoying. Very annoying.
Yeah.
Make a lot of noise.
I mean, it is actually a pretty good representation of Canadian Mike as opposed to all the others in our group.
Exactly. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today on this extra long drive home episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back on Friday. Peace.